Okay, we're going to go back on tags. We're done with page 2, close it up. Page 3. Again, we have a heading that needs to be highlighted. I will select it. That's a heading 2. Okay, let's see where it ended up in the tags here. Oh, it ended up in the right place by default. Good. Okay, so we have paragraph here. Paragraph has a link in it. Let's see if it assigned the link inside of it. It did as a style span. We don't necessarily need a style span. That's the underline, but it's not causing any problem. And we do have the link here, and it relates to the job-related accidents thing. Basically, what it's doing is it's the style span is going, it's going to span through this piece of text. The text is job-related accidents, so that should be okay. Shouldn't generate an error. If it does, we'll go in and fix it. That occur during established working hours. Effectively, the style span is a bridge between the top part of the paragraph and the continuity that occurs after that. And that piece of text in there with the link is the bridge. And that's what the style span is doing. So we'll go with that. No issue with that unless it generates an error in the final check. After that, we have another paragraph here. Looks like it did that just fine. Then we have another table. And we'll want to expand that and look at it. Table rows, arrow down the rows to make sure the rows are accurate. The rows themselves are. Let's look at the content in the rows. The first one is the heading row, equipment, issue provided by, and dates provided. That's right. Close it up. Next one is a form fields. Again, these are form fields that I gave very specific tooltips for, so we don't have any issues there. Date provided. And I'm betting, since there's no numbers on the tags inside of it, that it understood it. Acrobat Pro used to be really bad about not understanding its own tables natively. And there was a lot of fighting to make them work. In the last couple of years, they've made a lot of improvements to tables in specific. I guess I should say specifically. But everything looks to be in order here if I look in the form fields. But you do want to check. You never know when something has snuck up on you. As we saw with the reading order on the first page. Because we kept fixing the reading order and it kept re-breaking it because it didn't understand it. All right, and those are good as well. So table row is good. We have a paragraph here. This one I had thought of breaking to have the first line. Let's see if I could have the first line underneath, I think. I've changed my mind a bit on that, specifically after the fight we had on page 1. That was pretty epic, and it may absolutely refuse to do that without causing real havoc in the document. And I don't want to do that. It'll be okay like this. It would have improved it a little bit on the side of laying out the document to this is all one sentence basically, and that's a really, really unwieldy sentence. It's one thing to sit there and read it, but it's another thing to listen to it. So for future, I would avoid this. Break things up into smaller sentences. They're easier to understand. Okay, but anyway, it works fine. And our form field is at the bottom of it. And this page really needs no tag help. This page is good. So we're going to go ahead and move on. And I'm going to move just straight over to reading order since we didn't have any problems with that. And that is reading order for page 3. Here we go. 1 is correct, and we're going to arrow down 2, 3, 4. 3 is a table. It already knows it. And 5. So that is page 3 in its entirety, and it is good to go. So we're ready to start working on tags on page 4.